going on, y'all? J.H. Gibbons, the Achromous Podcast. Waiting on Will C to join me here. As you can see, we are live now. I see that Will C is joined here. I see got a few other folks joining in here. Trying to see if I can get him in here. Good. Cousin, thank you for joining the Achromous Podcast the day after everything, the day after the New Year's. It's been a wild one. Will C, can you hear me, man?
Yes, sir. I can hear
you. Welcome everybody. This is the 50th official episode of the Achromous Podcast. Do not adjust your phone or however you're seeing us right now. This is much different than our recorded setup, which is typically shot during the week, and then we end up posting it on our pages at 9:30 a.m. every single Sunday. Today, we're like, let's start off the new year a little bit differently. As you know, during New Year's Eve into New Year's, we had a short little video celebrating yet another, actually our first full year of Achromous. And we're actually about 2 weeks away from the, should I say, official start of the Achromous Podcast. It'll be this 52nd episode, which makes a full year, a full consecutive year of continuous gems, whether it's motivational content, inspirational content, relationship advice, interviews, and so much more. So on this day after New Year's, just wanted to kind of bring us together here. I know we are both struggling to get through the days. It's been quite a exciting New Year's Eve into New Year's, and now that we're on the second day of the new year, we can actually sit and take this all in. We'll see how you doing, man.
I'm here. Obviously, glad to be in 2022 with you and everyone else as well. Joyous occasion, just the process of recuperating, and just happy to be here with everyone.
Absolutely, yeah. The process of recuperating, man. We had a lot of fun. We brought in the New Year's right. Yours truly was a DJ for the evening. Good portion of the evening. Not going to toot my own horn, but that dance floor was full the entire time I was hitting them numbers. We were going old school. We were hitting new school, hitting some dance, hitting some soca, reggae. We were hitting everything. We had a lot of fun, had a lot of laughs, had a lot of drinks. We had the time of our lives, man. And I can't wait to get into this new year and continue to celebrate more success, continue to celebrate more, more friends, more family, of course, as we grow our community. I can't wait to continuously celebrate as we do.
Yeah, it was definitely a joyous occasion. It was a beautiful one. Obviously, we're still recovering now, so
yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of things to look forward to. Achromous related, a lot of content to get into. Pretty much just wrapping up where we left off from last year. Just looking forward to doing so in the process, and just strengthening our community and our outreach, and just elevating Achromous to the next level, and what that means to each one of us, what we're trying to accomplish and do. We thank you for the journey being with us all through 2021, and growing with us as well, because this is a process that we're all invested into to just be better, just be better people, and just live more fulfilling life as best we can, right?
Yep.
So, all in all, just, really happy to be here. Really happy that we're able to do this in episode 50, and we're just doing, a different take. Yeah, we're just happy to be here. Just really happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. And just so everybody knows, I know last week we mentioned, I think it was probably for the Christmas episode that we mentioned that I'd be jumping into the 21-3 method. If you don't know now, the 21-3 method was launched during New Year's, as we stated before. It is officially on the achromoussstore.com. I'm still waiting to get an approval from Amazon in order for it to be available on Amazon as Kindle, because it's an ebook. It's a practical guide that will allow you or help you live a much more fulfilling life now through sustainable and healthy means. So I'm very excited that is also out, and I'm also excited to take part in it. As you know, yesterday was my day one when it came to the 21-3 method. I do have to get some cardio in today at some point. But again, I think the biggest thing to take away from the 21-3 method is sustainability. Now, of course, I tend to work out a lot. Will, I know you do the same. And the one thing that we always love to do is push ourselves. I'm sure if you're out there now and you're watching this and you're also into fitness, one thing you probably love doing is pushing yourself as hard as you can. The difference between this 21-3 method and other exercise regimens or other practical guides that you've been part of is that with the 21-3 method, again, we like to put the focus on sustainability to be able to make sure that you're able to get through your workout at that time. And then 21 days later, you're still able to literally climb that ladder of fitness. So for me, I'm started on this bike here that I have in this basement. The first session was kind of tough because it's been a little while. It's been some time since I did some cardio, and it was a little bit rough on me. I wasn't expecting it to be as tough, but I know as we age, as we may step aside from some exercises a little bit, it takes a little time to get back there. But the point of me being able to do what I'm doing consistently is to make sure that I make it sustainable for myself in order to get to that 21st day and beyond, right? Because once this practical guide is over, once the 21 days are over, you're still going to need something to keep you pushed, right? You're still going to need to follow the regimen that you have created for yourself. You're still going to need to continue the lifestyle that you have now taken over. And it requires you to go about doing it on a sustainable basis. So what we will be doing is I'll be recording again my second day now, because it'll be my second day in the 21-3 method. Of course, I'll be talking about some of the easier parts of it, some of the things I knew I could do, and some of the things that kind of came easy, and then other struggles I may have. Being able to live a sustainable and healthy lifestyle is a bit different if you have not done it before or if you haven't done it with consistency. So I'll be able to document that, including the nutrition, the rest, how I feel emotionally, how I feel physically after those workouts, so that you can get an idea as you are also going through the 21-3 method and see exactly if you're on the same path that you have made for yourself. And that's what's important. Your path is going to be different than mine. Your body is probably going to react differently than mine is. Your results are going to be a little bit different. Your goals are going to be different than mine. But what is the same is that we are both building a sustainable and healthy lifestyle that we can literally live through for the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. It's a long time. It's a long time. That's why this is not a challenge. This isn't a some type of diet. This isn't a something that you do for just 21 days. This is literally a jump start into your new sustainable, healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, well said, Jay. This really just comes down to applying like 1% of your effort in a day's time into what you're doing. Right, it's 24 hours in a day. So if you're going to take a good at least 30 minutes or so for yourself to discipline that time to fit whatever it is that you're aspiring to accomplish through the utilization of the 21-3 method, it really just comes down to that, just applying effort, just putting effort to be better for yourself. Like, this is just purely for you, purely beneficial for you. As I was going through that process initially, it wasn't the perspective of everyone else. It was really just about the betterment of like learning myself, like learning more about the mental aspect to just how to commit to something and see it through for better or for worse, and grow through the process because you're better for each time. So that's what I'd say I've taken away each time I've decided to utilize the 21-3 method. And again, in every aspect of your life, right? So it doesn't always necessarily have to pertain to just fitness. It's a train of thought. It's a way of just committing yourself. And it's foolproof and it works. So I've been using it in the last couple of years or so. And Jay's in the process of showing you what that looks like as well. So we have visual representation now. That's outside of myself, so that you can bear witness to someone else's journey and to realize like we really aren't as different as it may seem. And truthfully, if you apply yourself to whatever it is you're trying to do, you're bound to get results of some kind. So the more effort you put into it is really what you're looking to receive back. It just so happens in most cases, fitness is something that is predominantly thought of, but I utilize it in every aspect of my life. Something as simple as we discussed before in previous episodes, making a bed. You get up, you do the same repetition. Eventually, with time, what do you think is going to happen? So it becomes, repetitive. It becomes something that's a part of your nature, and that's really the idea of what that goes behind it. And then when it becomes second nature, then there's more depth that's added to whatever it is that you're working on about yourself. Then you start making adjustments, and then you start doing tweaks to for the betterment of like the direction of what you want to go and how you choose to grow through that process. I mean, and honestly, that's what helps to keep that discipline aligned within yourself. So even like, let's say you miss a beat, you can get back and hit the track running with no problem, you know. But a lot of the times, society look for, the most easiest route in life, with anything that's less restraint, less commitment. But are you not worth it for yourself? So this is one of those times where you can apply that logic and you can actually utilize that to make yourself better. And you reap the rewards and you feel good about it. You feel good about you. It's all a part of the self-love, self-worth, self-care, the mental health awareness aspect. Because a lot of times we talk about, you have to take care of your mind too, outside of just your body, right? It's just, it can be viewed, taking on elements too. It just is not as focused on as heavily. But the 21-3 method is something aligned that'll help you with that process too. It'll help you keep yourself aligned, your state of being, your mental and physical progress in life. So if you choose to be better, this is for you. It's a win-win, because you're taking the steps to acknowledge what needs to happen. So it's showing accountability, and then you're committing yourself to something that you're going to do that you reap the rewards as the process is going, stepping stones. So, yeah, we hope that once you get a chance to get your hands on a copy of this and you get to read it, share some of my journey, some of my story in that process, my thought process, where I was through it, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy recognizing what was happening. And once it was accomplished, knowing that it was possible, and it was all because I chose to. It was all because I chose to do so. I chose me. So choose you today. Um, so I'll leave that there.
That's powerful, man. And you brought up some really great points that, I didn't even mention prior. This is applicable to many different walks of life. I know this one is based on Will C's transformation, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. But it doesn't necessarily have to just be within fitness. If you wanted to use this for your work life, if you are a business owner and you have specific goals that you want to be able to take advantage of in the new year or going forward, this is a great opportunity to look into it and see it, because the framework of the 21-3 method allows you to build on a foundation. That's kind of where all of this starts, right? Whenever we're building a house in general, you need a foundation for the house to stand on, or else it's just not going to be able to stand for a very long time. The house will come crumbling down if your foundation isn't set properly. So this 21-3 method, this practical guide, is a foundation that'll help you in life in many walks of life, whether it is on the fitness side, whether it's on the business side, whether it's on the personal side. And you will learn a lot more about yourself that you didn't know, especially if you're honest about yourself when you're journaling, when you're going through each day and you're expressing how you feel about a specific workout, when you're expressing, when you get to day 14 or 15 or 16 and you read back to day one, you'll see a change in what you're talking about. You'll see a change in your body. You may see a change in your body weight, your mindset, your approach to life will be a lot more different than it was in day one. And as we'll see mentioned, it's always about those 1% changes after 100 days. Just imagine just growing 1% at a time, one day at a time. After that 100th day, you'll be 100% more different, better, improved from where you were when you first started. So I think it's very important that we put that out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's necessary because it's not intended to make everything easy for you, like in life. Like, let's be clear here. This process was hell. Like, on the surface, it was tough because you're learning about yourself. You know, things that you normally wouldn't think about, and it does require a level of rawness and being vulnerable to be better. Because let's be honest, change isn't easy. It isn't comfortable for anyone. But I think what you come to learn with it is that if you adjust with it, you know, adapt by nature to whatever it is you're going through, you will progress and be better for it, right? Like, look, we were saying out there running and jogging, and when I got to a point to be consistent with hitting 10Ks like it was nothing, it was the beginning of that journey that made that possible. You know, it was not being uncomfortable. It was the running out there, and you know, not knowing what people thought or felt, but thinking more about what they may have saw at that point in time outside of myself. Is, you know, the insecurities that you have, as we all do with different things in life. But it became a matter of, you know what, I need to focus on me, and I need to do this for me. So this is all in my head, regardless, you know, and I have to be accountable if I want to get to a point that, you know, I could do this with ease. But I got to earn that. As we usually, you know, Jay, we go out. I always say that we eat somewhere. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna earn this.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put that bank into that account. You know, I'm gonna just deposit all that, and you know, with time, it'll get better because I've applied that 1%. So again, it's the way I say it is you're already winning. You know what I'm saying? You're winning by doing these things in life. You just have to appreciate yourself through the process or to understand the importance of that journey, because you gain an experience. And you know, no one out here just simply becomes an expert just because they've been deemed that, right? So it's consistency of applying yourself for something in an area in your life that's going to be beneficial, and this is one of those things. So for us, putting this guy together, you know, how to sustain healthy habits within yourself and like what that looks like. You know, you're gonna see things, you're gonna read things. It was just tough. It was tough. It was a process. And let's be clear. Hey, look. I mean, you would call me an expert at it, right? It's based on what my ventures, but I still go through the same process. It doesn't change about the mental fortitude of trying to clear my head to be more focused, trying to you know, be more stronger, especially on the days when I don't feel my best. And that's what it's about, because it's going to help keep you in line to remember that this is all about you, you know, because you matter. This is about you, your worth, how you perceive yourself, and you know, recognizing that you're just so damn worth it in everything that you do. So why not give this 1% to you? Why not do this, right? And that's what I tell myself every time I recite my mantra, my affirmation, which will be shared as well for you to go through, and you'll have an idea of what it may look like for you in your life. So, or how to build that, because that's just something that was developed along the way with the 21-3 method for me, was that process, and then utilizing, okay, well, how do I go about sustaining this once this is done? So when it was all said and done, I had a starting point of affirmations that I had created, and then I just built upon that. And even to this day, the way I feel is that it'd be a continuation of life, because my life falls within that bracket. So I hold myself accountable in any of those areas so that I can be as I am, and just try to be thoughtful, you know, be very considerate with others in life, and most importantly, myself. You know, protect and love myself the right way. Because if I'm not doing that for me, I can't give that out to anyone else. And that's something we all have to come to terms with. And this is one of those things to help you kind of address certain parts of yourself that maybe you didn't look at before. And I stand by that, and I feel as though that's what will happen. Um, I'm sure like you'll walk away with a new sense of like self perspective, and ultimately wanting to do better and knowing that you have the choice to do so, because ultimately that'll be in your hands. So that's where we leave you with it, but you have a community of like-minded individuals that are all here to support each other, all here to give like that. And to me, I think that's what's beautiful through this process. It's like, you know, planting that seed and watching it grow, and then watching it spread, and spreading such a beautiful message for life, and just letting you know you matter. You know, we love this. We love what we're doing and what we've invested into, and we know where it's heading. And with your help, we're all going to get there, and we're all going to be just better in life. And more importantly to me, we're all winning. You know what I'm saying? We all win it, and that's what I hope to accomplish. And we hope to receive the feedback from you all, and that, you know, it's making a difference in your life in some fashion. Because if that's happened, we've already won. We all won together.
Absolutely. And I want people to understand too that creating a practical guide like this that was just so honest, that was crafted in a way that you can help yourself grow to the point of being able to grow after the 21-3 method. It was truly a labor of love. You know, we sat down and we had interviews, we had walkthroughs. I had to dig into your psyche in order to pull out those gems, those things that even may have forgotten it when you were going through your transformation. So I think it's very important that in specifically in this personal development industry that we're in, that we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with our community, and we have to truly understand what it takes to make a incredible change like you did, both physically and mentally as well as emotionally. So a lot of what you pulled out of that was consistency, progression, and just honesty. I mean, with anything in life, you have to be consistent, right? If you're going to get healthy, you have to consistently eat healthy. You have to eat right. You have to eat clean. If you want to get stronger, you constantly have to go to the gym. You have to be consistent with it. You got to go every day, or whatever your regimen dictates. You have to stick to that. But a lot of the times, even through consistency, you may not see a lot of change. And I think that's where the progression comes in. That's where you getting stronger, you getting better every day, you getting deeper into your regimens, you going further when it comes to cardio. Whether you started off only doing a quarter of a mile at the beginning of the 21-3 method, and even after the 21-3 method, 3 months, 4 months into your regimen, you're now, as we'll see, you said you're doing 10Ks and it's with ease. You couldn't have done that if you weren't consistent and if you weren't progressive at the same time. So it took a lot of energy to get to that point. And even with this 21-3 method, again, we mentioned it before, but it is a foundation builder. It is something that'll help you create a sustainable and healthy lifestyle from where you are at the end of that 21st day on through the rest of your life. And with that same framework of consistency and progress and being honest with yourself, you'll understand exactly where you're going. So again, we'll see. I want to thank you for allowing me to sit down and really pry into your life for this 21-3 method, because it took a lot of energy out of you to be able to relive a lot of those things that you had to go through, and it took energy out of me to be able to really write it and create it in a way that it is digestible and practical for others to be able to use the examples that they saw in there, use the struggles that you went through and they're also going to go through, to be able to build a lifestyle that is sustainable for them and healthy as well.
Oh yeah, it's truly an honor, man. A pleasure to just allow myself to be as vulnerable and raw, and just become an open book with very, very personal parts of my life. Um, but that's what it required. It required that level of honesty. It required that level of commitment, and just being willing to just allow myself to experience the transformation. Like, you know, and as you said, certain parts relive it, and yeah, there were definitely moments, there were things that were discussed, that came up, that just I didn't recognize, like those were certain aha moments until reflecting on you know, the journey, because sometimes you don't realize certain key pointers in life when you have those moments that was very pivotal to that brought upon the change that was necessary, kind of give you that push. And that's kind of what a lot of it allowed me to reflect on, which was healthy. Because, you don't typically, get your roses while you're still present. So it's like to be able to go back and just kind of appreciate my self-worth of recognizing where I was at this point in time and watching that development, and then just going back to that time period and just seeing how far I've come, and truly knowing like I'm not who I was at all, like in no way, shape, or form for the better. And that was because I choose it like every day, and that's something that anyone can do. It's just identify the power of choice and work on ways to enhance it to make it better for you. So your overall experience and quality of life becomes better, whatever that looks like, right? If you can give yourself the richness you need to enjoy what life has to offer. And I think this is just one of those practical guys that's going to give you that process. Is going to help give you the tools that, for some of us out there, didn't have a starting point and know how to, because life events pushed me in a direction to wake up, and just kind of grab hold of my life and stop traveling through the autopilot, because that's what was happening. And I wasn't happy. I was not happy. I was miserable. It's cliche, but I was. And I didn't realize the only person that was really keeping me back from being happy was myself. There's not a person walking God's green earth that can do that or have that much power over me but myself. That's the gift that we have a choice. So embracing that allowed me to recognize what needed to be done. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. And Jay, I don't know if you recall, we were walking, we were at the park, we were headed to Rio, and that was a big pivotal moment of this process. That was, to me, one of the day ones, where it was like those aha moments where we walked and we sat. And I told you then, I was like, yeah, this is the journey we both knew, we talked about. I was like, look, life is going to change. I have to change. I can't be who I am today. And, just about going on 2 years now, where we are. And it has changed for the better, but it all took with the commitment of 1% and just recognizing that I was better. I am better, and that's life. And you all are the same. Whoever comes in contact with this, know your worth. Really do. And if you do, that means you're applying the effort to appreciate you as you are, so that you can grow to be whoever you meant to become. And just enjoy the journey along the way, for better or for worse. Enjoy the journey, because the experiences and something you can give and share to someone else. It's a story. It's gems. It's life, and that's what we should be able to do with our experiences. So I was glad to be able to allow myself to be vulnerable in a way that I've never been in my life. You know me for a long time. Very private person.
Yep.
And yeah, it required something out of me that would normally have not been a comfortable area for me. But now I'm in a place where my affirmations, I live in truth. So I'm a genuinely 100% open book myself, with boundaries to whomever is the person. But I'm an open book for the most part, because I choose to live that way. And that's an accountability to allow me to always continue to want to be better, to morally speaking, and just in general with life. So, this is something that's going to help you be able to hold yourself accountable in different ways. If you're already having methods of your own, maybe some things you could tweak. If you don't have a starting point like I did, this is definitely something that's going to help you in the physical aspects of life, the psychological aspects that you might encounter, and spiritual as well. Because in the end, again, we are all the same. We are all the same. There's no difference. We just are, living different stories, different chapters in life. But it's all relatable. And how often do you have a group of folks who come along who really just want you to win? And this is what this movement is about. This is what we, putting out to the world. It's just part of our legacy, our journey to give that out. And it means so much to be able to be a part of it. Thank God for putting me in a position to grow, to be able to be that voice of reason, that beacon of what that may look like through my experiences. And I'm privileged enough to be able to have gained that to share it. and more importantly, to have grown from it. And I'm better for each experience I've had. So we do hope that this is something that is going to be beneficial to you all, that you have at least one good takeaway, and just thank you. Just thank you in advance.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, again, on behalf of the Achromous Podcast, we want to thank you for, number one, joining this, seeing this, whatever time of day, whatever day of the week you're looking at this. We want to thank you for tuning in, sitting down and really understanding what it is that we are building here. We know that it is something that is going to be beneficial to anybody who chooses to be part of the Achromous community. And with the 21-3 method now being our featured, I want to say our featured transformational product, I think it's important that we put out there exactly what it took to create something like this, what the purpose of this is, and how you can all be a part of it. Look, our DMs are wide open. I know there are people who have joined us on this, and we thank you for that. But we would want you to check out the 21-3 method for yourself. Check it out at theachromosstore.com. There's a link under the Achromous Fitness profile under Instagram that you can check it out as well. Again, give us some feedback. Let us know exactly where you are in your path towards this new transformation, this new sustainable lifestyle that you've built. I know there's always so much animosity, or I don't even know if animosity is the right word, but every time we get around this time of year with the New Year's resolution, it's always this tension in the air. There's a lot of people who are going to the gym. There's a lot of people who are trying to start over anew in their life. They have goals. They have different ways of getting there. But why not use something like this practical guide to help you get to where you want to be? So again, take a read through it at your leisure. It's on theachromosstore.com. You get it now. It's also going to be available on Amazon.com as well in the next few days. But transitioning into what our 2022 is going to look like, we'll see. We've got a lot planned. We've got more guests, as we've mentioned during the Christmas episode of the Achromous Podcast. The Achromous Podcast is going to keep going. We're going to keep growing. But we also want to dive into the Achromous fitness side of things as well. And the 21-3 method is part of that, as well as some of the other endeavors that we have going on for the 2022 year. So we're very excited to get into that. I know it's only the second day of January, but we have a lot in store. And this right here is another part of that. Us having these live interactions with our community, I think, would allow us to bring us more to get closer together, to allow us to build back together, and to allow us to grow as we have been. So again, I want to thank everyone who's taken out the time to check us out today. I know a lot of you are still recovering for the week to come and for the month to come and for the rest of the year. But from our family here at the Achromous Podcast, yours, we want to thank you again for joining us. We want to say Happy New Year. Check out that 21-3 method, theachromosstore.com. It's available now. And just get after it, man. Like, there's a whole year ahead of y'all. There's about 363 days left of this year. What goals can you accomplish? What foundation can you build today that you can continue to build upon for the next 5-10 years? Where do you see yourself in the future? Just start thinking about those questions so you can actually understand what your purpose is and how you're going to get there. Action is very important. Consistent action is even more important. So again, I want to thank you for joining us today. We'll see. I know you're recovering. I am recovering as well. Let's continue to get healthy. Let's continue to grow as a community. And of course, until the next time, we want you to stay safe. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
Peace.